Avatar: The Way of Water. After 13 years, we finally get a new Avatar film. And did it live up to the hype as we have waited a long time for this film? Well, stick around and find out. Jake Sully lives with his newfound family, formed on the extrasolar moon Pandora. Once a familiar threat returns to finish what was previously started, Jake must work with Neytiri and the army of the Na'vi race to protect their home. The film stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldaña, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Kate Winslet, Joel David Moore, and Jemaine Clement, and was directed by James Cameron, who has done films like Aliens, Titanic, Terminator 2, and of course, the original Avatar. Avatar: The Way of Water, I was really stoked for this film. It's crazy that this film is finally coming out. It's 13 years later. The first film came out when I was 20 years old, and I was really stoked to check out this film. I only watched a teaser trailer going into this film, and I also heard from everybody else that the other trailers didn't really reveal anything, which is really great because a lot of times you get a lot of these bigger films, they want to give you everything, the story, and then you go into the film and there's no surprises. So the film is 3 hours, but I really did enjoy that. We're back in Pandora here, and you really feel like you never missed a step when you get into this forest. The whole way that they shot the film is absolutely stunning, from the forest to the fact of when they actually are getting out on the water and they meet this other tribe. And I really love the aquatic scenes when they're on the water and we get to see all the sea creatures and we get to see the coral and just everything involved with the aquatic type of part of the film. I really love like aquariums and fish and stuff. So it's very natural that I would really gravitate to loving those scenes a little bit more than the forest scenes. Even though the forest scenes, it just looks like you're right there with the characters. They do a really good job with the action in this film. There's a lot of action towards the first part of the film, and then you get to the middle of the film where they transfer over to the Way of the Water. And when they're on the Way of the Water, they're learning all the different ropes of this new land. They met a new tribe, they're in a new home, and they're just trying to survive and they're trying to make new friends. And it's a little bit hard because Jake Sully this time, he has different children here, and with all those different children that he has, they're trying to adjust as well. They're trying to make friends, and it's a little bit difficult for them, especially because they're not in their own land anymore. There's a big emphasis on family here, and I love the family dynamic that this film is actually bringing. And I really enjoyed the soundtrack as well. You have a different guy actually doing the soundtrack here, as the original composer, he actually passed away. I enjoyed the fact that they incorporated some new songs while also having some of the old ones as well. And I enjoyed the fact that we have these villains coming after them. But I will say, even though they are coming after them again, they kind of have the same motivation. So that would go under my negatives. Zoe Saldaña's character in this, she really doesn't have a big kind of part in the film. She is the mother to these children. But when we have the Way of the Water and we're spending all this time on the water, she isn't really involved as much with the tribe and with the kids. And she kind of takes the seat back, which was a little bit disappointing because I really wanted to see her a little bit more. I think also the direction of the third act, when we get into a lot of the action and a lot of stuff blowing up and things really going haywire and we're really getting a big involvement of the villains, that's when a lot of the action is, and that's where a lot of people will really enjoy this film. And I did enjoy that. The final action scenes are really good. And I will say that when we get to the second part, when we are on the water, there is a lot of time spent there. So I can see people's criticisms of saying that the film is entirely too long, because during that second part, it is stretched out quite a bit. But I was okay with it because, again, I really like the aquatic scenes. I really love the sea creatures, and I really love seeing them kind of adjust to their new life, because in the first film we're in the forest all the time. So it's great to have a new vibe into this film. Wrapping up my final thoughts on this film, I had a really good time watching this film. This was the first time that I've ever got a large bucket of popcorn and finished the whole thing and actually went back for seconds. My son checked out this film with me. He had never seen the first one and he had a really good time, and he loved the visuals just like me. And I think nothing else, even if you don't like this franchise or if you didn't like the first one, you probably won't like the second one either. But I do have to say that even if you don't like the first one, and if you weren't going to give the second one a chance, just know that I really think that this is a film that it really has shaped the way that filming has actually transferred, and how the advancement of film. And I really did enjoy that the technology has really changed as time has gone along. So it was great to get this 13 years later and get to see it in a full-fledged theater with a full audience. And I would give a score of this film a 5 out of 5. It's a great film. It does have a few flaws here and there, but I really did enjoy it for what it was, and I had a great time, and I hope you guys did as well. Let me know in the comments, did you like this film? Did you hate it? Was it kind of meh? Most of the reviews I've seen for this film have been really good for the most part. A couple negative ones here and there, but you know, there's always people that this may not be their cup of tea. But thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys on my next review.